And he'd set out his ritual. He'd have the orb. Now with both his hands sort of held up in front of him, I think he'd have the three of them sort of sat together in a loose triangle, cross-legged on the ground. And he'd set up what little bits and pieces he has. And he'd lead them in a... I think he'd start off by talking through some memories. This is for Farah, really.
Yeah.
About Kendall, good memories. And the whole time he'd be trying to, like, focus on summoning the thoughts of him into the orb itself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Farrell would get a little teary trying to reminisce about even the good stuff.
Yeah, so would Pitch. And I think with Nigel it would be about Nigel is his rock, and he's just like holding his hand and clinging onto him a bit as they're starting it all up.
Okay. So, Pitch. Each of your friends around you sit amongst you, and all the preparation required is ready. However, you still feel a sense of hesitation come over you. The whispers of spirits are no stranger to you at this point, yet this is different. To attempt to commune with him, it is no easy task for you. But you need this. You need his strength, his reassurance, especially now. But most of all, the question that still haunts you more than any shadow or spectre could, you need to know why. So, with hesitation in your heart, but determination at the front of your mind, you sit amongst Nigel and Farah and you reach into your bag, placing the crystal orb between your crossed legs and gripped firmly between your fingertips. The rest of you look on expectantly as the seconds tick by leisurely, as your curiosity seems to slow the very pace of time itself. And then, as if on Pitch's command, smoke begins to whirl within the orb. First it is small, as if from the echoes of the sparks that light a campfire. But then it begins to coalesce into that might which resemble the heights of a bonfire. As Pitch gently caresses the surface of the glass, the smoke reacts to it, like an orchestra reacting to their conductor. It begins to rise, twirl and dance its way throughout the orb. You are tempted to look up and meet Pitch's gaze, but his focus is completely on the orb itself, and you are all equally drawn in by the performance within this smoggy diorama. Slowly but surely the smoke begins to die down, and before you know it, the orb is empty. However, the act is not finished. As if readying itself for an encore, the smoke begins to form once more, but this time in the centre of your circle. It rises as if climbing an invisible ladder, and within it a crude figure begins to form. Moments pass and it becomes more defined, more rigid, more familiar. The edges of this shapeless, blurred mass sharpen, and the rugged visage of Kendall Danish Clancy coalesces before you. He locks eyes with you, Pitch, and he smiles. The smile is knowing, whilst it tries to tell a story of reassurance. All it can spell out is that of recognition. Realization of what has and what is happening. His face grows more stern for a moment, and he looks to you and he says, Sirathos, it has been a moment, has it not? And he turns to you, Farah, and he says, "Hello, girl. You've grown into quite the woman when I looked away, haven't you? Hope you kept up practice with that sword arm."
Ooh. Yeah. Farah's like shaking.
Mm-hmm.
Nigel would put his hand on Farah's shoulder.
I miss you, Kendall.
He looks down at you and he nods. Then he places a smoky hand out upon your shoulder. And then he looks to you, Pitch.
I don't know what to say. I couldn't believe that it would work. Everything's better with you here.
He just says,
Uh,
"I'm glad, but there is a reason I'm here. Do tell me, Pitch. Do tell me, Sirathos. Why have you summoned me here?"
We need your help. We're in a dark place. We're struggling. The Oath is struggling. We're in a cursed land, Kendall. We don't know how to get away, how to get out. You always knew what to do. We need your leadership. Can you see a way forward for us?
He sighs deeply. And he says, "Look at me, boy. Look me in my eye. And you, girl." He looks to Nigel, he's like, "I don't know you, but..."
Nigel's just like looking like, okay, alright.
Yeah, Farah looks up at him and she's sort of choking back sobs, pretty much.
"I don't know where you are or what's happened, but remember that there are things in life we don't want to happen, but have to accept. Things we don't want to know, but have to learn. And people we can't live without, but have to let go. One of the hardest lessons in life is letting go. Whether it's guilt, anger, love, loss, or even betrayal. Change is never easy. We fight to hold on, and we fight to let go. So look me in the eyes, Sirathos, and you promise me that whatever lesson you are learning, whatever pain you are suffering, and whatever evil in this world is pulling you down, don't you dare give up that fight. Because the fight is all we've got in this fucked up world. Even if we die fighting it." And then, without warning, a hand reaches out from the smoke and places it upon your newly formed hand. And you feel, for what must be the first time in a while, hope. And then you feel a wetness upon your cheeks. And he's gone. And you just
Farah
sit
just slumps back.
in a circle amongst each other in complete silence and total darkness.
Thank you both. I needed that more than I can say.
Yeah, Farah looks towards Pitch, and she's just got tears running all the way down her face, right down her neck, and she can't really speak.
Yeah, he just grabs her up in a hug and like flails out his arm towards Nigel to pull him in for a big bear hug around them.
I don't think you want to do that because he will crush you. But yes, he would hug you both at the same time. I not meet him, but he seemed like very wise man. I see why you love him.
He would have liked you.
Farah just squishes in tighter and just kind of nods a bit.
And after a few moments, the silence is broken by the sound of Ozdred snoring. Not far from outside the room.